Hey all, I'm Brad of Brave the Woods. I've been looking forward to doing a review of the Wacom Ergo Stand for quite a while now. I've owned it for about a year, and for the most part I've really loved using it, but there are some things that I'd still like to change. For those of you who have drawing tablets like my 24-inch Cintiq Pro right here, I find the debate is typically between purchasing an Ergo Stand or getting the Ergotron arm. Now, I've never tried out the Ergotron arm, but it doesn't look like you're comparing apples to apples. The Ergotron arm is a fully articulated arm that mounts to either your wall or your desk, but never really sits on your desk like the Ergo Stand. So I was super pumped when the company XOOT reached out to me a few weeks back and was offering to let me try out their prototype of a new drawing stand called the XOOT System. I mean, I love the opportunity trying out the new stand, but more importantly, now I have another stand that I can compare against the Ergo Stand. So let's go check it out. Let's start things off by looking at the new XOOT System. This is a prototype of a new drawing tablet stand, and at the time of making this video, it isn't available for pre-sale, but it will be very soon, and odds are if you're watching this now it is, but you can always go to the XOOT.pro website and stay updated. Just so you know, this isn't a sponsored video. I was lent this prototype just to give an honest review. And because this is a prototype, remember that this isn't going to be completely polished, this isn't the final product, but this is a really good working version of it. One of the first nice things I noticed about the XOOT system was the fact that I was able to install it without any instructions, which was pretty good because I had to look up some instructions for that Ergo stand for sure. Probably the most original part of this stand is the electromagnetic braking, and it is super cool. It makes everything really easy to use. The way it works is that you have these two touch strips that you have to adhere to the back or the sides of your tablet, really anywhere that's most natural for you. Then you plug this cord into them and connect it to the stand. It looks a little jerry-rigged, so I was a bit skeptical of how it would work at first, but then after I tried it, it worked really well. You barely have to touch those strips and it immediately unlocks your arm there, your stand, so that you can adjust it effortlessly. So if I let go of those brakes, it'll lock in whatever position I have it in, and then I tap it again and I can just glide it back into position. Right when I took this thing out of the box, it felt super heavy, but also really just sturdy. The XOOT frame's made of a heavy steel, which means it weighs quite a bit, but it's not too much for a standard desk, so you're not have to worry about that. I only mention the weight because it feels very quality, and that you may have to have a friend to help you set it up. Another cool thing about the XOOT system is that it's designed to fit a range of different tablets. So you don't just have to have your Wacom tablets, you can also have, I think, a Dell Canvas 27-inch, along with your other like Cintiqs, your larger Cintiqs, like your 27-inch QHD, your Cintiq Pro 32, and your Pro 24. But they're going to be offering updated kits, so you can buy them in the future for updated tablets or tablets that you may have now. So there's lots of customization that's available with the XOOT system. The drawing experience on this is really nice. I love the ergonomics of it. It allows me to sit up straight and have this in a position that's really comfortable for me. Now you'll notice that when I'm drawing on here, it's shaking a bit. Everything's kind of shaking. It's because my desk is kind of flimsy. It's not this stand. The stand's really sturdy. It's just that I got kind of a flimsy desk. But I do like how I can draw in here. It feels very comfortable. I can even bring this down over top. If I move my keyboard here, I can bring this down, pull it back, and drop it over the edge of my desk, which makes it even more comfortable. But I like having my keyboard under there, which is one of the big perks. If I push this back, lift this up, it still has this clearance underneath for my keyboard, so I can still hit all my hotkeys, my shortcuts there, because I'm really not used to this remote. I try to get used to it, but I just can't. I guess I'll keep trying. But I have my hotkeys here, and I really enjoy having that. And then if I want to, I can lay this all the way back, and it turns into a secondary display, which is really nice. But it's just so effortless in bringing it forward. The one thing that I wish it did have the ability to do is rotate. That would make it a lot more comfortable in a lot of these instances when I'm drawing. But they did say that the new version of this is the prototype, of course, the actual version that they are selling does have the ability to rotate, which is amazing. I just don't have that option in front of me. So I'm not sure how well that works, but apparently it's supposed to be pretty smooth. Okay, so let's take a look in the back here. It has this arm that connects it to the table. At first glance, I was kind of annoyed with it because I was like, what does it do? I don't really understand why you have to have that extra piece there. Why couldn't you have just made the feet on this a little bit, longer or something like that, so that because I know it's supposed to help so that the screen doesn't topple over. But I looked at it, and the more I've used it, the more I've appreciated it, because one, it holds my cords, but then also I'm able to push this back further against the wall than if it had those feet. The Ergo Stand, when I push it back, because the base is so large that it'll kind of hang over the back of my desk if I want to get it out of the way. And this, there's no chance of that. You can push it all the way back there, get it really flat against the back of your desk, and there's no chance of that falling off the back or falling forward. So that was actually, I thought it was going to be a con, but it turned out to be more of a pro. Also, don't forget that this requires an extra plug. The stand has to be plugged in as well. So what do I think of the XOOT system? Overall, I actually really like it. I almost feel like it's more comfortable than the Ergo Stand, but we'll get into that a little bit later. It just is a little more limited in the fact that it doesn't rotate yet, but I'm informed that the actual product will rotate. They already have the pieces in, and so that will be an awesome addition to this already great system. I was pleasantly surprised by how well those electromagnetic brake systems worked and just how smooth the whole thing is, which is really surprising to me, but I really, really enjoyed it. Next up, let's talk about the Wacom Ergo Stand. Now, I bought this and I've been using it for the past year, and I've really, really enjoyed it. The problem is, now that I've tried out this XOOT system, there's some things that I really wish it did that it doesn't do. But let's go ahead and just walk through it, and I'll give you some pros and cons. Like the XOOT, this too is very well made and designed. It's really, really heavy. The main framework and paddles are all metal. I've kind of pushed this and pulled this in different directions, leaned on it. It's a really strong system. Setting this up for the first time out of the box, it took me about 30 minutes, but I also did look up some YouTube videos on how to do it. The instructions are actually pretty clear, but it was just easier watching the video. It wasn't super complex. There were just a lot of steps and pieces to assemble so that the cords could snake all the way through the body and the stand, which is really nice. Makes it look clean and organized, but it took a little bit more time to set up. One of the benefits to having the Ergo Stand, though, is being able to move it in so many different positions. They're not necessarily in positions I want all of them, but there are some really good ones. So if you're looking at this video and trying to figure out what's the best fit for you, some of these positions might be better for you. So the way that you move this system is you have to grab the back paddles, and that will allow you to adjust your screen angle. But the whole thing won't pull out until you pull this little lever here at the bottom. It unlocks it, and then you can do kind of you pull it and you can push the little levers on the back to change the angle of your screen. So it lays down flat on your desk, which is actually a very, very comfortable drawing position. If you had this remote, it'd be so much nicer if you actually use this remote, which I don't really. So having my keyboard not being able to fit under here is kind of an issue, whereas the XOOT system was about right here, and I could put my hand underneath it, which I really actually liked. So yeah, that isn't a possibility here, but it does. It feels very, very sturdy. You can lay it down right there in a nice position. It sits really high. For me being a really tall person, it's actually kind of nice sitting on my desk. I don't feel like I am looking down at it at all. But you can also pull this all the way up, and let me move my mic here. Pull this all the way up, and you can have a flat drawing surface if you were standing. So if you like standing at your desk, this is a really good option as well. It's very sturdy. These metal arms are really, really sturdy. The only reason it's shaking again is because my table's a little bit wobbly and our center of gravity just went up quite a bit. But it's very, very, very comfortable, very strong. And swiveling this, rotating this from side to side is almost effortless. It feels really nice. It clicks to center itself. Yeah, and if you looked on the back side of this without the backing on here, you'll see that it's really intelligently made because the cords don't get caught up in there at all. But the one thing that's really frustrating me now is that I wish I wouldn't have tried the XOOT system, because now all the movements here, they're not hard, but they're definitely, you have to put in a little bit more effort, and having it lock and all those things right around here is just not as easy as just touching the sides and moving it with your fingers. So it has a really large base that extends forward here, which is nice because then it keeps it really, really sturdy and allows me to be able to move it around the table without worrying about my screen toppling over. But the problem is, because it's kind of deeper, when I try to push it back to give me more space on my desk, it tends to have to, even I have a pretty deep desk and it still has to hang off the back a little bit. Luckily, it's really sturdy. Like I said, it's not going to really fall off, but I just don't like it that I have to precariously hang it off the edge of my desk at any point. Overall, I like the Wacom Ergo Stand. I just wish there were some things that were different. I wish it did like the XOOT System. It would pull out an angle, but it didn't cover the ground. It didn't hit the table so that I could keep my keyboard underneath there. That would have been really nice. And it's just crazy how hard it is to maneuver compared to the XOOT System, which it just glides effortlessly. I can do it with just my fingers. I didn't realize that until I compared them against each other. But it's very, very well designed. You can hide all of your cords in it. It looks great on the table. It functions the way it should. It's strong. It just really comes down to preference on what you're going to be using it for, how you like to draw. But it also takes up a lot of space on your desk, so keep that in mind. And if you're a Wacom user, then this is perfect because that's what it's made for. It's not made for any other types of tablets. Unlike the XOOT System, that's going to be upgraded and they'll have kits and things that you can fit other machines on it. But for this, it's just Wacom. That's why it looks so nice and it works so well with your Wacom tablet. All right, so after using both, I'm going to have to give the edge to the XOOT System, mainly because it fits on my desk a whole lot better and just it allows me to have that clearance under my keyboard that's really big for me. Again, it might not be big for you, but it is a really big deal for me. And it's just so effortless to maneuver. It doesn't take any two hands to unlock it or anything like that. It's literally just touching the sides, pulling it towards me and adjusting it the way that I need. I really, really like how that works on the XOOT System. As for price, the Ergo Stand is $500, which I know is a lot of money. It's a very expensive base, but I'm assuming the XOOT System will be up there as well just because of the mechanics and how it's made. I'm almost positive it'll be right up there in price. Choosing the right stand for you is really based on how you like to work. If you like to work at a standing desk, if you like to sit down, you like to be hunched over, if you like to have it feel like an easel and you're painting on a canvas and you have it sitting up. There's lots of different things to think about, or if you have limited space on your desk, all those types of things need to be taken into account. For example, I keep talking about this keyboard, but it's really a big deal for me to have the keyboard underneath there. And because everybody likes their stands a little bit different, let me know what stand you're using and tell me why you like it. And you can put that in the comments below. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helps you guys in your decision making if you're going out and looking for a stand of your own. And I know this isn't a cheap decision, so I hope this helps you out a little bit more. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And also, if you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe and also that little bell icon so that you can get notified when I have new videos up. And I'll see you next time.